Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing this jumbo box braids. But before we do that, can you please go ahead and subscribe? It's totally free for you guys, but it means the world to me. So let's get to it. So if you have loose hair, this is the part where you section out your hair. You can use triangles, squares, doesn't matter. I have locks, so I washed and dyed them black so that they don't pop out of the braids. So for this style, we're going to be using the Darling 1 million braids. I bought a value pack. It was like 59 rands for 3, which is a bargain in my book. So we go ahead and take one pack and divide it into 4 sections, which means one pack gives us 4 braids. Okay, now we go ahead and section that one part of the braid like so. And then feather it to avoid those blunt edges. If you guys don't know how to feather, let me know. I'm going to show you in my next video. So now we take that part of the hair and split it into 2, but make sure you don't split it equally. One part has to be smaller than the other so that when you fold it over the 2 other parts, they have the same thickness. After parting your hair and everything, you take your edge control. Whatever edge control you have or you like will do. Ignore my edges, you guys, they are super crusty. So make sure that hair is nice and sleek. So for one braid, I use 2 of my locks, if that makes sense. Because I don't want the braids to be super heavy on my natural hair. So make sure the parts that you do match the size of your braids to avoid breakage. Trust me, guys, I learned the hard way. After you are satisfied with the parts and the edge control that you put on your hair, you want to go ahead and take your braid and take the smaller part that you split out, and tie it over your hair one time. I like to tie it one time when it's like thick braids, because I feel like if you tie it twice, it's going to be too heavy on your natural hair. After all that, you want to go ahead and braid downwards. If you have locks like me, make sure like from the roots, it's a bit tight so that your hair doesn't split out and stuff like that. So make sure it's nice and tight. And then you go ahead and do your 3 strands. I don't really know how to explain this part, you guys. So just kind of watch and see what I'm doing here. So make sure it's nice and tight and not loose. Okay. So you'll notice that my parts are not that clean, if I can say that. So because I have locks, there is only so much I can do. So you have to go ahead and part it as clean as you want them to be. And I don't really mind the messy look. So for me, it's not that bad. Plus, locks already have their parting, I mean. So if I try and manipulate all that and try to do all that stuff, I'm going to end up breaking my hair. So I'd rather let it be. So you want to go ahead and braid down as far as you can.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.
Okay, so I wanted to show you this part, which is the part where you fit in your braids. I wanted my braids a bit longer, and the braids that I bought were a bit short. So I had to cut one packet into 2 and then feather it a bit, and then towards the end I would take a piece of that hair and add it so that they can be a bit longer. So you'll see as I'm doing here.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on.
Okay, so again for this part, as you can see, my braid is longer than my arms, so it was getting difficult for me to plait. So I just take that braid and stick it in my mouth. Okay, I put it on my lips so that I can hold it and finish braiding the rest of my hair. So just braid until the end, and then when you're towards the end and you can see that you have you can't braid anymore, like you can't do 3 strands anymore, you can just go ahead and twist the part, like do the 2-strand twist so that you can seal your braids properly. So as you can see here, I'm gonna do the 2-strand twist a bit so I can seal it. So there you go, there is one braid done. Let's get to the other one now. So it's exactly the same process that we did. You just part your hair however you like, and then take your edge control. Ignore my edges, you guys, they are crusty. So just take your edge control and put that bad boy in there, and make sure your hair is nice and slick. And then, yeah, we do exactly the same process that we did on our first braid. I'm just showing you again, you guys, so that you can understand what we were doing. So if you have a brush, you can brush it out and make sure it's really, really nice and slick. All right, you take your braid. Of course, you had make sure you feather the part out, and then you split it again, like we said. Split it, make sure it's not the same, and then put the smaller part over the bigger one. There is another process that people use, but I don't really understand that one. For me, this one is easier. So you hold the two parts, the two thicker parts, and then you take the smaller part. That's the part that you're gonna tie over your natural hair. Again, I like to tie it once when it's thick, because I feel like it's gonna be too tight and too heavy on your hair, which is gonna cause breakage. As you can see, my hairline is not the best. That's because of what I did in the past, so I don't want to do it again. I want to be smart with it this time. So go ahead and braid. As you can see, I can't really explain this part much, so you can just watch me braid. And make sure, if you have locks, it's a bit tight. If you have hair, like loose hair, it's not gonna be bad, but make sure it's tight so that your hair doesn't stick out, because that's not cute. Okay, so just braid. Okay, I wanted to say, for this hairstyle, this whole head, I used about 9 packets. I bought those 3 value packs. So 1 packet gave me 4 braids. So if you want them to be a bit longer, like I did, if you want to fit in your braids, I suggest you buy 1 extra packet, because I used 1 extra for the bottom part. But if you don't want to, if you are okay with the size that the braids are, you can just let them be and just buy 9 packets. And again, it depends on what size you want and what kind of hair you have. So yeah, for me, I would have loved them to be a bit thicker, but I had bought the hair, and when I counted my locks and the hair, I realized that I only have to one packet has to give me 4 braids. So the feed-in part, you just want to take your braid, the one that you cut, and then put it in there and then continue braiding. So I took 2 parts. I put the one first and then braided a bit and then put the other one and then continue to braid. So to make sure that this video is not too long for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. So watch me braid and enjoy.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow.
Okay, so I'm done. This is the finished product. So if you guys like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button, comment and subscribe. I'm going to see you on my next one. I love you guys. Bye.